One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com. One of our favorite sponsors is back. Do you live in Portland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know where Hillsborough and Forest Grove are?
Yes, I do.
Do you smoke weed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then here's the deal. Go check out Define Premium Cannabis because they're sponsoring No Simple Road.
Wow.
Yeah, they're part of the No Simple Road family. They have
Thanks, Define.
the dopest dope you ever smoked. The guy who buys their weed lives with me and is sitting right to my left.
That's me.
Who?
Huh? That's me, Apple.
Oh, hey, what's up, Apple?
Yeah.
So yeah, go out there, check it out, you guys, because they have the best bud anywhere in the Portland area. And like I said, there's 2 locations out here to serve you, one in Hillsborough, one in Forest Grove. They have you covered with all the edibles and dabs and whatever topicals.
And the thing we do, there's so many ubbles, so many dabbables, ubbles. The thing that we really do is we take our time to explain everything to you. There's a lot of things to know. It's constantly changing, new products all the time. So come out and visit us. We'll get you educated. We'll get you hooked up with the medicine you need for whatever ails you or whatever doesn't ail you. You just want to hang loose.
Yeah, and the other thing that they do is they take care of the No Simple Road family by, when you go in there, if you tell them that you listen to the show, you're going to get 10% off your purchase. And your first time in, you're going to get a free t-shirt, and you get to meet Apple. If you go to Hillsborough Monday through Friday, he dresses like a old 1980s landlord, like in Three's Company, like Mr. Furley. And he'll come out and he will rent you the best bud anywhere.
now.
So go out there and check it out, you guys. Hillsborough, Forest Grove. Tell them you listen to the show to find premium cannabis. Do you go to shows?
Yeah.
Do you wear clothes?
Yeah.
Sure do.
Do you wear hats?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do all those things, you should go to shoptourbus.com and check out the Digital Lot's baddest, most inventive Grateful Dead inspired merchandise out there, period.
I saw a Fire on the Mountain tee at the Chase Center.
At Fish?
Yeah, Fish show.
I had 2 people, I took a picture wearing my Steal Your Tape hat.
Yeah.
And I had 2 people DM me and ask, where can I get that hat? Well, the answer to that question is shoptourbus.com online or at shoptourbus on Instagram. And when you go over there and you order your stuff, put in the promo code NSR. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's wrong. The promo code is No Simple Road, all one word. So don't listen to me. Listen to me the second time.
But why do I put it in?
Because you're going to get free shipping.
What?
And what you order is going to come to you in a hand-designed box with a Grateful Dead lyric on the inside, all kinds of extras in that box. The box itself is worth making the order for. And some of you are going to get a miracle
Bootleg.
Grateful Dead cassette tape in your box. So go over there, check out what they got, hook yourself up with a nice fresh hat,
And go over to Instagram and look, because one of their recent posts is one of my favorites. Somebody, the inside of the box, did you see the artwork? It was Bobby's shorts.
No, I didn't.
It was just shorts and legs with an arrow pointing and just saying Bobby's shorts.
Right on. See, there you go. You can get yourself a box with Bobby's shorts and a new hat or a new hoodie or a tote bag or some kids' clothes. And you get it with free shipping because you're going to put in the promo code, all one word, No Simple Road. And we're hooking you up so you can look fresh when you hit that next lot.
Have you ever listened to Maggie Rose?
Out of a rose.
That you got from Electric Fish Lights?
Well, you certainly can.
Do it.
You should. You should
You
go
will.
over to
You
electricfishlights.com and check out what they are doing. Electric Fish was born out of a passion that they had for custom IQ lighting. These are custom lamps with IQ technology, which is these 30 interlocking pieces. You can put them together into 15 different shapes. And when you put them together, they can basically build anything that you can think of.
Yeah.
And, you know, their motto is like, light is love.
Light is love. They love lighting up people's lives, seeing the smiles, seeing the beautiful art that you can create with your...
With the IQ.
Yeah.
And check this out, man. They even have bulbs inside these lights that change colors. They have bulbs in these lights that have Bluetooth speakers. It's pretty dope what they can do. They built Apple a minion with a hit of acid on his tongue.
They built lots of things. And if you want to check that out to see what they've built, because there are a lot of ideas to look at, go over to @electricfishlights on Instagram or electricfishlight.com and check out their extensive catalog of stuff that they've done, they have for sale. And then you can always come up with your own thing, throw at them. They love a challenge.
Yeah.
They love doing custom lights for everybody out there, and especially for the No Simple Road family. And check this out. All these lights come with a 12-year energy-efficient, safe-to-leave-on bulb, or you can get the color-changing upgrade or the Bluetooth speaker.
Get the speaker.
They come with a 12-foot cord and a hardware kit to hang the light. They are safe to use outdoors. And check this out. If you put in the promo code NSR when you check out, you are going to get 25% off your purchase, and you're going to get surprises in your box.
25.
Ooh, like what?
I don't know. It could be a crystal, could be a tie-dye shirt, could be a headband, could be a bunch of stickers
Right on.
and a poster. You don't know.
It's going to be Delaware Magic.
Delaware Magic in the box. So go to electricfishlights.com or @electricfishlights on Instagram. Put in the promo code NSR when you check out. Hook yourself up with a light that will bring you love and joy and fun to your house and enlighten yourself.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for Season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like Otil Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple. Check it out.
No simple road. No simple road. No simple road. No simple road.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to No Simple Road. How's it going? This is Aaron.
And Mel.
And Apple.
Hey, we did it right this week.
We did.
We didn't all stutter, stop, or just stare at each other.
No, we
A
just
for
did
us. We
Yeah.
remembered our names.
Sometimes it goes smoothly and other times not so much.
Not
Yeah.
so much. I'm glad that it went smoothly because our guest this week is the one and only Maggie Rose.
Maggie Rose.
I should insert applause right there.
Yay, Maggie.
Yes.
Maggie is not only an amazingly talented singer, songwriter, musician, she is also part of our Osiris Media podcasting
right.
family with her
She
amazing
is a fellow
podcast,
sister.
Salute the Songbird. She is
Mhm.
our sister in media domination. Yeah.
That's right.
Is that what
Domination.
we're doing? Media No, we're just hanging out.
No,
Well, it makes it exciting.
not
but
dominating anything.
Yeah, it sounds good. Anyway, Maggie, if you're listening to this, thank you for coming on the show. And for all of you folks out there, get ready for an emotional conversation with Maggie.
Yeah,
This-
right from the start.
Mhm.
We didn't waste any time.
We definitely didn't waste any time. I was incredibly stoked how this conversation went. Listening
Me
back
too.
to it reminded me of how deep we went and how much fun we had talking. And I feel like we made a new friend that day.
Mm.
So it's always good when we hang up a call and you feel like you added to the family.
I agree.
It's super rad. And
This
go
was great getting to talk to her from home and everything as she was
Yeah, and
getting
meeting
ready
Austin.
and getting ready to get back out on the road and everything. So this was really sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And she's busy as shit right now, man.
Yeah.
Like she's got a little break now for a few days, but coming up on October 29th in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, she's going to be playing the Cottage. 31st, she's going to be at Halloween. November 11th in Cleveland, Ohio at Beachland Ballroom. November 12th at Pittsburgh, PA at the Thunderbird Music Hall. And then into December with a whole bunch of dates. Asbury Park on the 8th. Brooklyn on the 9th, Alexandria, Virginia on the 10th, Kansas City on the 15th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the 16th, Minneapolis on the 17th,
Aw.
Chicago on the 18th, and
She's
Asheville
making up for lost time.
on the 30th at the Great Eagle.
You got to back up. You skipped one right in there, which was a
Congratulations,
very important. Yeah, there's one in the middle of November where she's playing Grand Ole Opry
Wow.
and the Del McCurry band.
What?
Is gonna be there playing
Oh
with
my
her.
gosh, Maggie, how awesome.
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
hollowed stage right
That's
there.
exciting.
You see, I can't even imagine. Can you even comprehend stepping out onto that particular stage?
No, that's got a lot of lore. I remember what was one of the famous Minnie Pearl and the stuff like
Mhm.
that. And a lot of the hee haw legends. That takes me back to my grandpa.
Mel and I were
remembering
just
all that.
watching the Dolly Parton documentary, and she's 50 years a member of the Grand Ole Opry,
Yeah.
and legendary. So
Legendary.
Maggie is joining the company of kings and queens out there
Wow.
with the Grand Ole Opry.
You deserve it, Maggie.
Yeah, you do. So everybody, I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as we did. We're going to get you to the interview. Remember to stick around for the other half of No Simple Road after the conversation. We're going to catch up with you guys and hang out with you for another 45 minutes or so after we do this. And remember, everybody, follow No Simple Road on all the social media platforms at No Simple Road. Remember to go to nosimpleroad.com and hook yourself up with some NSR merch. Sign up for our newsletter. Check out our calendar of events. And go to patreon.com/No Simple Road, because that is how we keep the lights on over here. That is how we continue to bring you the content and these guests and put stuff out and go places and do stuff.
Yep.
Patreon.com/No Simple Road. And we have a new Patreon subscriber
Woo!
this week, a $20 Patreon
Dang.
subscriber,
I was-
Christoph M.
Okay.
Christoph, we know who you are.
Christoph M. Thank
Wow.
you.
We love you,
Christoph,
man.
thank you so
Thank you,
much.
brother.
I can't wait to send you something fun.
Yeah, you're getting a collage from Mel in the mail for your donation every month, and you too.
And
out there.
Daniel, I have not forgotten about you. I have one minor thing to do, and I am mailing it out. So
Yeah.
be on the lookout.
And if you don't want to, if you wanted to give a one-time donation to the show, you can do that through PayPal at nosimpleroad@gmail.com. And don't forget about the Tepid line at 971-808-1524. And that reminds me, I'm going to do this before we get to the interview. We had a winner in the contest that we
Whoa.
had for the fish tickets for Eugene on the 19th, which we're on our way to right now, actually.
Yeah, when you're listening to this.
This is going out. So I'm going to play that right now.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for the ticket giveaway. And here's my story. So, let's see. My first time seeing Fish was at Dick's in 2012. And I was with a couple buddies. We drove up from Boise, Idaho. And on the first night, the friend who brought me, he's the one that got me into Fish, he lost his tickets. And, well, the rest of the 3 nights we had to spend time like selling Molly and other stuff that he got from a friend in order so he could buy his tickets. Well, some spun look comes up to us, and in passing he hears, my friend offering Molly, and he's like, "Oh, I want some." And this guy's pupils were already like saucers. I don't even know if he realized the show had already started. And anyway, my friend walks over with him. They do the deal. And then we walk over, and the guy opens the capsule. And I swear to God, he dumps it in his eyeballs. He just takes the capsule, just poof, poof, a little bit in each eye, just all over his eyes. And he's sitting there just blinking, wide-eyed. I couldn't believe it. It was like I had never even been to a Fish show, let alone seen something like that, and it was crazy. But yeah, I don't know. That's my story, I guess. It's my tour story. Yeah, thanks again for the opportunity, guys, and hope to see you at the shows.
That's winner worthy. When you're talking about dumping shit in your eyes, allegedly.
Oh, that hurts.
It made my eyes water.
That's all I can say. Yeah, just like, ow. Oh,
wow.
Yes, that's one way to do it.
That is called straight up fucking wookery right there. You won Wook of the Day for that. Can you imagine you're at your very first Fish show and that's your entry level?
That's what you see.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Like, oh man, I didn't know it was that kind
That
of
leaves
party.
an imprint for sure.
Yeah. So congratulations, Tyler, for winning the tickets and telling the coolest story about your first Fish show. And we'll see you there in Eugene. We'll be down there in just a little while. So everybody, get ready for an emotional conversation with the one and only Maggie Rose. She is part of the Osiris family. Make sure you check out her podcast, Salute the Songbird. And if you're in one of the cities or close to one of the cities that we mentioned that she's going to be playing at, you need to go check out her show. She is energy embodied and
powerful
woman. So here we go. Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Maggie Rose.
All right.
There she is.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, Maggie?
Hey, Maggie.
The producer, Austin Marshall.
Hey, thanks, Austin.
Yeah, thanks for hooking it up.
And thanks for that compliment coming from Austin. That means a lot.
Yeah.
He's not lying.
Salute the
He's an
Songbird's
avid
pretty
listener.
freaking awesome too, Maggie. So
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
It's nice to be on the Osiris family.
Yeah, it is.
super cool. I'm Aaron.
Hey, Maggie. Nice to meet you, Aaron.
This is Mel. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out.
And
Absolutely.
And then you got the third one here. Then I'm Apple. Welcome home from summer camp.
Thank you. It was my first time. I chose this glass for you guys today.
Oh, hell yeah, right on. Thank you.
In the garden. Yeah.
Well,
The
that's
summer
like,
camp was awesome.
So you're
um,
performing, or what were
she
you?
was performing.
Okay.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. I jumped up with Andy Frasco as well. And I was supposed to sing with, which, he has no energy at all.
No,
Like,
he's super lax
be
and boring
hard,
guy.
it makes me feel like I'm doing nothing up there. And he makes me work hard.
He is.
But then I was supposed to sing with Big Something as well. And they weren't able to make it for COVID reasons, 2021 for you.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to jump up with Mo as well. And for the same reason, I was unable to, but I caught their set and it was awesome. Great culture at that festival.
That we're super bummed. We had worked out going there and podcasting from there this year, and then all this other stuff happened. And it ended up that Your Cup Fish is playing this weekend at the Gorge, like 4 hours from our house, and we're like, we can't, because we all work day jobs still. And I'm like,
That's the best venue ever, too.
yeah. And we
Yeah.
can't do both. What are we going to do? And
I think you guys made the right choice.
Yeah. But you
And also it was more logistically responsible of you, since it's right there by you.
totally. Yes, totally. It's a weird world that we're in, Maggie. You know, like there is so many variables at play right now that were never in play before, and so many concerns and like just stuff to think about that we never had to freaking think about before.
It's very complicated.
Are you having a tough time?
Yes, and I think you just have to keep an open mind, because there's new developments every day. And I think that there's just so many factors. My band's vaccinated, and we've enacted some COVID protocols for our shows. But, it's just, you want to protect everybody. I don't think we can go down again as a touring industry without the damage being irreparable, because it already is taking a long time to recover. So it's just protecting it in the long run.
Well, I mean, exactly what you just said. I've been saying, like, there was whispers and rumors and all this stuff of like another lockdown and shutdown of the country. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how we come back from that a second time. I know me personally, like mentally, I don't think I could do it again. I just couldn't do that. There's no way.
I've seen some people just give up on music altogether, and even worse, I have some friends who are in the industry who didn't make it through just because of the emotional weight of it. And it permeates so far and wide. Like, the touring industry is not just the artists on stage. We all know that.
Right.
Yep.
It's the crew and the gaffers and the runners and the lighting techs and venues that won't ever open their doors again. It feels really hard to think about maybe temporarily restricting on some things, like not jumping up on stage with people that would be fun to collaborate with, just to kind of protect and set the right example, instead of having a full-blown cancellation again of everything.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, just so many things that we just weren't even in part of our consciousness before. And now
We just have to be gentle with ourselves and the whole thing.
Thanks for saying that, Maggie. That's the one thing that really is kind of the most important. Kindness and gentleness right now. Like, everybody is at a level 10 and the max is level 5. And it doesn't have to be all over your life. It can just be like, maybe your home life is a 10. Maybe your personal, like your own, like cleaning your own shit up, like dealing with your own stuff is a 10. You never know. And people can be just so harsh right now. It's just harsh.
Right.
And
because people are pissed off.
Yeah, they're pissed off. They're scared. They're hurt. They're fucking freaking out.
Yeah.
And we're like saying freaking out kindly. Like, please,
do it gently.
If you're going to freak out, do it with grace. Like, no, nobody knows what the fuck to do. And so just when you have the strength, you just got to like bring that to the table. If you've got the strength for both of like a shitty situation, someone's cursing you out, somebody's doing whatever they need to do, maybe you're the one that's the bigger person in that situation.
Right.
That's it.
That was definitely the biggest lesson for 2020 for my husband, Austin, and I. It was just listening is super important and giving to everybody, even if you don't agree, and giving people the space to do that and giving ourselves some grace. Because it's just not sustainable to be at this level of stress.
How has it affected your performance, or has it?
Well, I think every show that I get to play is the best show ever. Now I'm so grateful. Like, we played a show in Birmingham last week, and because of the COVID protocol, it was a much lighter crowd than we would typically get in Birmingham. But even then I was like, I'm so stoked to be here, because we're making music. We are finally getting to give this music away. And a lot of the crowds have been amazing to each other. I can look out in the audience and see how they're treating not only us on stage, but the people around them. It just seems like there's this camaraderie and gratitude that maybe was there before all of this, but I'm very aware of it now.
I'm curious as to what you're seeing when you say that they're like being like how they are with each other.
The crowds
and stuff. Because my thought is like, not that, my thought is not that, I don't know that I'm seeing that or not seeing that. I just, want to see how you're picking up on them.
I think what I've noticed is just people who are so happy about being at a live show. Like these are people who really want to be there. They've gone to the lengths to be there and jump over whatever so-called hurdles might be in their way to be there and do it safely and protect each other. And I think they're really celebrating the music. People missed it, and it's medicine in so many ways.
Maggie, that's a mouthful
So
right there.
medicine.
Like I've said this a lot, but before the pandemic and lockdown and everything, like it's a huge part of our life. Obviously, we have a music podcast. Like it's a thing that we're passionate about. And I knew that it was important, but once it was gone, I did not realize viscerally how vital it was to my mental health, to my selfness, to have
lifeline.
It. Yeah,
it's a lifeline.
And I'm turning 50 this year, and
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
It's a big
And
one.
I don't feel my age. I feel like an 18-year-old kid in my head. And I started like feeling the age coming on from not going to music. I could feel myself like the fountain of youth had disappeared and I was withering. And we recently went to our first shows back and saw Yonder, Mountain String Band, String Dusters, and Green Sky.
Nice.
And it was, I've never felt that more grateful I'm getting choked up. I'm sorry. I've never felt more grateful to be with the community and to have the music there than never before. And I wonder if you feel like that standing on the stage now from your direction. Does it feel like that?
It's surreal. I think isolation exacerbated a lot of self-doubt in me. I kind of had an identity crisis. Like if I'm not performing, then who am I? But then when you're back in this crowd and you're all sharing in music with this connection, it's like the polar opposite of feeling alone on an island. And you feel like it's so much bigger than yourself because of like just being a part of this big group. Like it all has to happen. We're all symbiotic with each other. Like it doesn't matter if you don't have the person to give the music to. So I think that's where it's pretty awesome. And I had this album that I just put out done for the entire pandemic. And for a stretch of time in the beginning when everything was shut down and canceled, it was hard for me to even listen to the record because I just felt like, oh my God, this is not even going to get to be released the way I intended. And we made it in this really collaborative way, a bunch of people in a room. And that idea of creating something that way again felt so far away that it made it a painful memory. And now releasing it with all of these things opening back up and that correlating, it's a new lease on life. I don't mean to sound dramatic, but that's exactly what it is.
You're so spot on.
It's not dramatic. It's like literally perfectly appropriate.
And
we went through and are still going through something freaking huge. And
I've had a few freakouts.
Right?
Just thinking about that possibly unfolding again.
Join the club.
Dude, what I keep fucking in my own mantra is fucking the future's for the future. Like that's my own thing that I just have to say because that I will get anxiety, will get anxiety once I start thinking about shit. Like Aaron's like, "Oh, are you excited about the gorge?" Or like, "Yeah, I am." But like, I'm not fucking talking about it because it's a whole thinking about going there and then like just everything that's involved in it. It's surreal from our side too. Like there's like fear to go back also.
Well, not just that, but everything that you just said about like identity crisis and having a hard time listening to music. Me too.
Yeah.
Right. Like when this started, like, I mean, this is silly and stupid, but it wasn't silly and stupid to me. Like my clothes didn't make sense anymore. Like if that makes it.
And it does make total sense. Look, I mean, you're talking to someone who has a wardrobe full of show clothes.
Okay,
What do I wear?
Right. And like, I'm working from home. What am I gonna wear? My Grateful Dead t-shirt to my bedroom? Like, who gives a shit? I was wearing like, I had like a really beautiful wedding ring that Mel bought me, and this other like really cool like skull ring that I love. Why put those on every day? I'm at home. And then I was like, everything that I have is wrapped up in like this scene that we're a part of, and I'm disconnected from it. Like, I might as well just wear my bathrobe every day. And then putting on music was just like the most painful thing, because it's like, hey, remember how much fun you had and how cool this was and how good it felt? Well, you don't have that anymore. Here, listen to this.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Like,
well, it's scary. That's why I was gonna say the music, obviously, to you and what you do too, is music is love and light, and that's what it stands for. And it's scary when that's taken away, and we can't see it in that light and everything. It's scary what happened to all of us doing that, because I'm sure you're in the same boat. Music saved all of our lives at many points throughout, you know, our lives. It is, and that was taken away. It's so scary. And what we're seeing right now, we've talked about this. I'm sure you're seeing, like you're saying, how you see the crowd out there, and you're seeing the love, and you're seeing a smaller crowd. We're seeing that too, because the one thing I hate, this is kind of a PSA to people that listen to this, I am so disappointed in people that are canceling bands. Like, somebody posts something and they're like, you used to be my favorite band, screw you. It's like we're doing what we have to.
That's not being gentle.
It's not being
opposite.
gentle. We have to protect this thing and understand that there's so many. It's not necessarily a band making that decision. It's all the inner workings behind it. It's insurance, it's managing, it's venues, and people are attacking what they used to love.
Right.
But then the ones that are understanding it, we're
Yes.
getting, yes. And it's like you said, the cruise, like one of our greatest moments when we went and saw Yonder and Green Sky, one of the highlights was seeing the crew halfway through the show, the entire crew out on the side of the stage watching what they created again for their heroes. And it was like, oh my God, I got goosebumps now just like talking about it. And I just want, people need to get to that point of realizing that we have to be gentle with it. We have to love this thing. This is very fragile. We should have learned, everybody should have learned that this is so fragile. And we have to protect this to keep this love going. And the right people, obviously, like you said, they just saw it when they went to Pennsylvania to go see Fish. The people that are getting through, loving it and everything, the right people are getting into the venues to give that love back and forth between the reciprocal, the reciprocal love of the artist and the listener. And it just, more people need to get on board. We can't let this get squashed.
Absolutely. And we have to create a climate in which artists can make a decision responsibly without feeling like there's going to be backlash one way or another. Because that's affecting decision-making, anxiety levels. I mean, we can't possibly know all the inner workings of what made them come to those decisions. And you're not a real fan if a decision like that in this day and age with what we're going through terminates your fandom of them or your appreciation for their entire career of music. That's bananas.
That's freaking a mic drop right there, Maggie.
Yeah.
That is a mic drop, because it's, if you're in a musical community and you're on a social media, you've seen something to those effects of, people being nasty back and forth or whatever. But loyalty is important,
right?
Especially right now.
Well, and autonomy.
Yes,
we can be loyal to one another without agreeing on everything.
Isn't that what the name of the album is about?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's how I took it. Like, let's sit down and talk.
Absolutely. And let's make room for everybody. And let's be welcoming. I mean, it's a multi-layered meaning, but I wrote that album when we were headed into an election year. It was all written about what, like, similar things that we're talking about now. Those were issues for artists to speak to what they thought was the right thing to do politically. And we're humans and we have emotions and opinions, and people are afraid to say anything. And that's happening once again with something that really shouldn't be political. It should just be about what we're doing to best protect each other and keep the music alive and keep everything alive.
Keep each other
suffering. Damn
each
it.
other. Yeah.
So that's a trip. You wrote this before pandemic, so it took on a heavier weight and meaning.
Yeah.
Kind of sitting and marinating through this, and then to release it. And now you get to go out and perform it. That
and
wow.
It kind of seasoned the music for me in an even better way. Like I was saying, how I couldn't listen to the album for a few months because I was like, shit, when am I going to ever put this out? And people don't want to hear me exacerbating. Like I'm talking about being able to agree to disagree and what are we fighting for? And I didn't want to sound preachy in a time where we were in a pressure cooker and the rhetoric was so polarized, and it feels more triumphant now. And I mean those themes even more given what we've all collectively been through. So I think it's been a pretty rough 5 years, and this album is a great way for me to find some catharsis in it all. And I first wrote it to comfort myself, and now it's nice to see it taking effect on people who are hearing it, and hopefully having that same result.
It did it for us this morning, sitting on the porch. Like I put it on, and What Are We Fighting For came on, and you couldn't have more perfectly echoed what I have been screaming in my head every time I go to social media. Like, what are we doing, you guys? Like 3 years ago it was, love and light. I'm vibrating with love and light. And now it's like, fuck you. It's like, what the hell? Stop it. Everybody stop.
Yeah.
And it's something strange that's, I don't know if it's always been like this, but certain artists, and you're included in this, they wrote stuff prior to everything that went down, and it had one meaning, and then all this stuff happened, and it changed the music,
right?
And it almost seems prophetic in an odd kind of a way. Do you see it like that yourself too when you look back and see it through these eyes?
Totally. And I had a whole different sequencing for this record before the pandemic. And so I had to re-examine all of this and be like, do I still check in with myself? Do all of these songs still portray what I want to say and where I want to go with my music after all of this? And the answer was absolutely yes. But I wanted to start with that song because it's a question, and I certainly don't have the answers, and I don't want any part of this album to make it seem as if I think that I do. But it's how you start any conversation, with a question. And dynamically it felt like almost a song we should have put at the end of the record. But I think that, I keep going back to this word, but just gently opening the door to the listener and saying, all right, we're about to sit down and have a damn good time, but we're going to get through some shit too and work it out. Just like any good long chat at a dinner table would happen. I mean, these are people who want to see eye to eye and have a good time.
I'm curious because you just performed in front of a huge crowd last night. How was the feeling at summer camp when you got up there?
It was wild. I've never been to summer camp, and I have to say I had a really good time. People's outfits were outrageous. Like, people showed up. I was very, very pleased with the enthusiasm from everybody, all the concert goers, and the band sets were incredible. Humphreys was just so fun to watch. It's my keyboardist's favorite band. So she was just taking me through the whole thing and giving me the guide. And, people were freaking out. It was like, I think everyone's got this idea of we have today, and what you were saying, the future's for the future. People are going for it right now. It was intense almost, to answer your question.
Wow.
Well, something like that too. It's no more now than ever to be here now. Like, we don't know what we're gonna have tomorrow morning. Like in listening, I listened to some of the Umphreys from last night, this morning, and like everybody's on fire. Everybody, like the afterburners are on. There's no holding back. It's like we got to celebrate life.
Yeah. And I don't think it's in a dread like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I think people are like, we've got today. And we've got this show.
Grateful for
and
today.
It's a distinction. You know, people are just trying to be really present. And man, I feel like I'm part of the family already. Just everyone was so welcoming to us and the crew. And it's just nice to feel genuine acceptance, because I love the scene and I feel like I'm part of it now because of the way that they've treated me and the way that I've treated them back. It's not necessarily because of like our show only. We have a band that's able to jam, but I'm more lyrically driven and it's like a soul funk band, but it works because of the community and the way that people treat each other, and just we become friends and you jump up on stage with this person and just kind of feels like we are genuinely celebrating each other. And I think that that's what makes it so special. It's not a competitive culture.
No.
I think it's like an appreciative.
Yeah, it's not competitive at all. That's what we love about this whole, whatever you want to call it, the jam band community, whatever, is everybody makes each other strive to be better. Everybody loves each other's music. They're there
and
to
admires.
see the band.
I mean, there is, we want to be good and impress our peers, but I think it's just admiration.
And then Frasco strips down to his underwear and chugs a bottle of Jameson.
Drinks an entire bottle of Jameson and plays piano better than everybody. And you're just like, all right. I'm convinced he puts water in that thing sometimes. He's got to.
I don't know, man.
Although I kissed him on the cheek when I got off stage, and it was definitely Jameson. So.
Yeah.
Not that time. It wasn't water.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We've hung out
camp,
after a show, so I know for sure that it probably isn't
His
water.
whole crew is so fun and so nice. And then they all came to our set, and you know, we were all bouncing around all over the place, and people don't just get on their bus and leave. They go see everyone's shows.
Yeah, that's the way it should be, man. And you know, in the midst of all of this, like, you know, you're talking about putting the album out, and in the best of times when everything is perfect and the sun is shining, there's rainbows everywhere. It's a scary proposition to put out an album because it represents a slice of who you are. You know what I mean? That's your inner workings that are displayed for everybody. And I mean, that's the life of an artist anyway. But when you put out an album, that's, you know, you want it to do well. There's all the stuff that you've done to work to make it happen and everything that's behind it on the line. And then now, you know, we're in this re-emerging time and you're putting out an album. How has that felt? How's the reception been and the way that you feel that it's going?
I think it's just been totally awesome. Like I'm happy we were patient. I think it's time. I mean, I'm ready to start making more music. And I want to give this music away. It doesn't feel real until you've handed it over to the listener, because it's like, you can't hear a tree fall in the woods if you know where around. Same, you know, that whole metaphor that I'm not going to butcher anymore. But this is the moment. And I feel like it's more celebratory now. The songs have evolved to that place for me, very much from the day that they were written, where it was more angsty. And I feel like there's a solution, at least, or the conversation can happen in this climate now where it couldn't before. And the live component to add to all of it is, I don't think I could have released an album without that in place.
And I feel like the role of the job of what a musician does has, at least for me, my perspective has changed and what I am experiencing from the shows that I go to. I think that your job is different. It's
What is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic is incredible.
Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
I think before it was a celebratory thing to go to a concert, sure. But it's another level of that now. And there's also a little more, well, like we were talking about in the beginning with all the moving parts now, there's a little more responsibility to it. Like the bar has been raised for all performers and crews and everybody in a weird kind of a way. And you know, navigating that is difficult. And you said something earlier, Maggie, that took me back, and I want to go back to it. You know, you said that you had self-doubt, you know, and sitting on this side of the camera or the microphone and having heard you sing, how? Like, I know that might seem like a silly question, but like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, can you explain that a little bit? Like, where does that come from?
It's just a little bit of that like imposter syndrome thing where you don't use it, you lose it. And I think it's like a muscle to perform. You need to get your band to this place where the whole crew and road managing side is well oiled. And without all of that in place, I started to feel anxiety when all of a sudden overnight, it was like 60 shows were booked. And these were on the calendar now, and we were headed back out. And I felt like, can we do this? And then all I needed to do was just go do it and prove it to myself. And it took a few shows to really feel like we were back in the saddle. But those weeks leading up to the first shows were pretty harrowing. And I had some personnel changes right before because COVID was hard on people. And some people didn't want to go back out, and that like they got intimidated by this, this life. And you just have to go out and see how much you love it. And it's kind of undeniable for me. But there was a moment where I was like, can I even do this anymore? And am I a performer? Am I out of touch with what I was doing before this? And how we would have no way of knowing unless you just jump in.
Right. And Jesus, man, that's congratulations. Like, that takes guts, because as easily as the answer can be yes, you are those things, the answer can be no. And to get up there and say, fuck it, I'm just we'll see what happens. Right. You know, that's
well, and hoping that I was yearning for these shows. That was always there. So that wasn't in question, but like being afraid of what's the audience going to be like, all the things we're talking about, not just what are my capabilities on stage and my band, but like, what's it going to be like out there? Is my body physically going to be able to tour? You know, am I going to love it as much as I did when I get on stage? Like, I hope that that's there, because you don't know until you feel it. And luckily it's all been there and more. But you know, I think when you are by yourself, those inner voices, they have an opportunity to get really loud, start clashing with each other. Yeah. And we all dealt with it.
Yeah, we did.
I'm curious about something, changing gears a little, because you do a podcast and stuff. One thing that we really found solace and therapy in, that was kind of our saving grace through this. Because in the beginning, like Aaron said, on several of our shows, when all this happened and things shut down, we're a live music podcast.
Right.
We're about going to show, and it was like same thing. Like it's like, okay, there's nothing to report on now, but that quickly changed into, thank goodness, we got to do something that hasn't happened. Artists were now at home instead of being out touring, instead of doing interviews like you're on the bus at summer camp trying to get a connection. People were at home and then starting to kind of settle into their home life. And then you have your podcast. Did you, that's my question, that had to have been therapeutic also, to be able to, because that's how we kind of kept the music vibe alive in us, is through this podcast and our listeners reaching out, telling us, thank you for continuing to do what you do, because the rest of that was taken away.
Absolutely. That's such a service that you did, because in a time of ambiguity and nothing being certain, you gave people some regularity and let them keep missing that and hoping for the return of that. And so you guys have been awesome to do that and
Thanks,
keeping that
Maggie.
joy alive.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And Salute the Songbird was totally born from the pandemic. I mean, I'm about to start season 3, so it's something that
Wow.
I'm going to maintain doing because I love it. I'm so happy that that was something that came from that time, because being on the road, you rub elbows with other musicians that you admire, you become friends with them and they're part of your community. You look out for each other. You become a better musician because of proximity to them.
Mhm.
And that was a way for me to keep expanding my circle, let people who I admire know that I admire them and prop them up. Talk to icons like Nancy Wilson of harp, but then also highlight my friend Nikki Bloom, who's incredible. And just, it was all over the map. And I got to shut up and listen to their stories and their music. And I was reading memoirs from these women and just felt like I was absorbing so much. And that made me a better musician just by being a conduit for these conversations and not being the center of them, but just kind of helping facilitate them.
Wow.
So I don't know, it just makes me appreciate so much the hard work that all of these women have put into their careers and definitely feel less alone. And the research process is awesome. I just get to listen to awesome records.
Right?
And, it does not suck. So it's great work that I enjoy doing. And there's always more people to discover and more people to celebrate. So the list is ever growing. And that's a cool thing to see as well.
It's such a cool
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
that you
That's
do.
one of our favorite things.
Yeah.
And that's one of our favorite things on this end when we talk to somebody, like we did it yesterday, and on the way out of the interview, it's like, here's 4 other bands that you should know of.
Mm-hmm.
Like check these cats out. This is a friend of mine. And that just keeps growing. That pool just gets deeper and deeper the more you
Keep
get
going.
through it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's parallels the connection of music too. Like you talking to people who then want you to know about someone else genuinely, like that sort of mimics the joy of being in a crowd and discovering someone for the first time. And that's space camp. It's summer camp yesterday.
Space summer
It is
camp.
space
I
camp.
don't
a
know where
little
my
bit.
head's at. It's totally space camp too. We can call it that. But people don't really have an agenda. They're going to catch this crowd. And a lot of people didn't know me yet. And it's just so cool to see it kind of like accumulate, these people just sincerely just coming to check out what was going on and sticking around. And I think that's how you learn about these new people that you have on your podcast. It's awesome.
yeah.
There's
And
always room.
That's one of
There's
the
always
things that's
room is right.
beautiful about this community is that, for the most part, people are really open to more music. We love music, so it doesn't matter what it is. Bring it. Let me hear it. And if I love it, I love it. It's not a, I don't know. It's not a thing. And
Well, one of the things that's made me appreciate doing the podcast is like what you were saying is like you're getting to learn these people and how amazing they are, even if it's not like the album that I would put on when I'm driving home, as an appreciator of music and how hard somebody has to work and all the things that has to come together for like them to mesh as a band and then to produce it and to edit it and to promote it. Like that is a huge feat. I don't care what kind of music it is. I'm going to fucking pat you on the back and say that it was bomb because it really is like an amazing creation to undertake. Like somebody that made a movie, that's a big fucking deal. Like there's so many people.
Art is wild.
Right?
It takes a lot of passion. It takes crazy people. So
And
it's fun to talk to
effort.
crazy people.
Totally. Well, like our daughter, she's a model. She's an actress. She's got a side band with her husband who's a musician. And he's like, when you're a creator, you're just creating.
it's everywhere.
It's
wild.
Everything that you're going to do, and, kind of like on the heels of what Apple said with the podcast, like it seems like you really used and utilized a lot of your time during the pandemic to create more. What else did you
Absolutely.
create beside these two awesome creations? Because I know there had to be other stuff.
There was other stuff, and I actually, instead of putting out this album, I was like, maybe we should focus on celebrating other artists through the podcast. We did that, and then we also recreated Bill Withers live at Carnegie Hall.
What?
Because he had passed away, and I was like, instead of us making our own originals and taking up the space, let's recreate this great music that's timeless, that says something amazing. It's the best live record ever. He passed away at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was a sincere challenge for the band because that's tricky material. And we did it just like he did the record, and we had a bunch of awesome guests jump in, like Devin Gilfillian was a part of it, and Joy Lottikin and Will Morell, and it was just super cool to have that kind of a project to focus on that wasn't like us trying to promote ourselves. For a second.
Is there a different, I guess there's still some personal like pressure, but not the same as when you're doing your own stuff, right? Like it's different, I would imagine.
It's different, but that pressure was on because we were aware that his wife was going to hear the record that we made, like was going to see it. So, and you also don't want to mess up Bill Withers. You want to do him justice. So I think the band was sweating about it a little bit. And they nailed it. They were like, okay, way to challenge us with this record. But it was a good way for us to keep up our chops and celebrate great music without having to find our own words to say. We were like, these are words we love and mean right now from a great artist, and let's see if we can do it.
And those moments are the best. Like, let's see if we can do it, and then you pull it off, and you're like, yes.
Yeah, we needed that win in
totally.
that time.
It's funny how we know what we need without really, like, it's sometimes it's totally unconscious, and we set ourselves up for the things that we really need the most without really knowing it. And like Apple was talking about during all the stuff that was going on, I didn't know that I needed to have these conversations. I didn't know it. And in hindsight, I'm like, wow, that's really the thing that got us through, was collaborating with the artists that we love on keeping our heads together.
Right.
And that's like, was beautiful. And that's exactly what we needed. And you mentioned, collaborations for the album, and the one that sticks out to me, I mean, obviously is the one with Marcus King.
Yeah.
And can you tell me how that came about? Because that song is amazing.
He's just a freak of nature.
He really is.
So he just moved to Nashville pretty recently when we wrote that song. And I'm friends with his management because she used to work for a company that distributed my last record. And we just were mutual admirers of each other. And she made that happen. And that was probably 2 years ago. And he and I just have become really great friends since. And that was the first song we ever wrote together.
Really?
He played on it. And he's super talented. He's so easy to write with creatively. And you just have that chemistry with people sometimes where it is easy. He also makes what he does so well look really easy, and that kind of pisses me off. And he's 25 years old. His soul is super wise and old, so I forget how young he is all the time. But he also invited me to be a part of his Four of a Kind series that he did during the pandemic with Billy Strings, and we recreated his album El Dorado one night, and then we did The Last Waltz another night. So we've been able to do all these fun projects. And I did his Grand Ole Opry debut with him.
Wow.
And it was kind of fun to see him nervous a little bit for it.
Yeah.
Because he's done so many cool things, but he killed it, of course. And, it's just nice to have someone who looks out for you. And he knows that I do the same.
yeah. The
And he can sing. Oh, he
dude,
can sing.
Maggie. The first time I heard him, I hadn't seen him. I didn't know what he looked like. And my God, I did not picture who was singing. I'm like,
Totally.
how can this be a kid?
The first time I saw him, I'm just remembering this for some reason. It was at Mercury Ballroom after Fish.
Oh, wow.
It's the cup I'm holding.
Oh, wow.
It was after we went to the garden on December 28th.
What?
Yeah. There you go.
Was
It was all
your
meant to be.
mind just blown seeing him the first time?
That was the first time I saw him, and it was like 2 a.m. They were on fire. I mean, he was shredding. We all know that he's an incredible player, but his voice is just ridiculous.
From another
And
world.
His voice is ridiculous.
that was my first impression. So that's where the admiration began for him, and he moved to Nashville shortly after that. And
is that where you are? You're in Nashville?
Yeah, I'm in East Nashville.
All right. Yeah, there's
a great little creative community.
Yeah, Irvin lives there.
Oh yeah, Irvin Stiller. Yeah. It's there's some magic happening down in Nashville, man. I mean, it's always been a thing, but right now there's some good stuff cooking.
Burl,
it's because the creative pool is becoming so diverse with all the people moving here, and I think that is pushing our scene to be diverse in return. I mean, I moved here 13 years ago and was put into the country music machine as a teenager. I think a big push behind me, and there's some great things that came out from that. I mean, I got wise really quick, but I certainly don't think that that's authentically where I belonged, and was able to find my voice after some opposition in that area with just inequity at country radio and all of that. And I'm happy that happened, because it pushed me to explore my sound and finally arrive where we are now. So it's been a bit of a road, but I think that's correlated with how Nashville's changed as well. That's why I've been able to stay here and continue collaborating, using the resources that are changing.
You should be proud of yourself for figuring that out and working through that. That's a really good place to come to. Like, of course, as a person, but as a creative artist, like sometimes, like that's your art. That's how you do things, your signature. And so you stay doing that, but stretching outside of that and feeling like a new place is your art now. That's
right.
Freaking amazing. That's a long stretch.
That's why this record feels like a beginning of sorts, even though it's the third album.
Yeah.
It's what you just said, arriving at that point where all of those other works that I've done have been a representation of where I was on my path, but I was definitely still searching. That was a path, not an arrival.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's our job as artists. I've been here 13 years. Shit, I should change it up.
Yeah,
well,
you owe it to
yourself.
yourself.
Right.
Right.
And you know what, though? And this may be naive. I don't know. Like, I'm not in the inner workings of the business of the music industry, but it sure seems like from my perspective, there's a dissolution of genre happening.
Yes.
There's a big like melting that's going on, like.
I love that you said that. Yeah. I totally agree.
Like Jamgrass is a perfect example to me of this like dissolution of that traditional bluegrass, like, Americana. And then we got hippies that are stretching these songs out for 25 minutes. That's not something that was going on a while back.
No.
And so I see artists like you at the forefront of this. I don't even know what to call it because it's brand new. It's a thing that's happening. We're
the
watching
dissolution
it.
of genre. Like you just said it.
Yeah.
And that used to be a problem for me, was this difficulty of categorization. It used to be a perceived obstacle by the Music Row machine. And now it's something that I think people are celebrating about our music, is the fact that we can play at Newport Folk Fest and we can also play at summer camp and it still works. And Billy Strings is doing that all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's another great
example. He belongs
example.
everywhere and it works if you just are like who you are and you do it well.
Yeah.
Just be you, man. That's it.
You don't want to go to a genre specific festival. That's weird.
Yeah,
boring.
And then you
Boring,
get
yeah.
pigeonholed. Like you say, you kind of got thrown into that country machine thing. Who wants to be stuck at like, okay, this is what you are forever.
Right.
You're expected to
And-
be this. This is all people want to hear from you. Like you said, how boring. If you're just going to hear it, it's going to be the same album again and again. And it's so good to see these genres getting smashed. And festivals like you were just at summer camp. There's such a mix of music. I mean, you got Tipper, and then you got Humphreys, and then everybody is excited to see all of it. We're music fans. Bring it.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's also because the consumer is dictating what they want to hear now. So that's another contributor to the dissolution of genre.
Wow.
That's a really good point
Wow,
that
I never thought about that.
took into consideration, because you're right. Nobody's listening to the radio. They're listening to Spotify. They're listening to their playlists. They're listening to your playlist. Nobody wants to just hear a DJ and a million commercials and 3 songs an hour. Like,
And
yeah.
so many bands that we're talking to, especially up and coming younger bands, they're producing their own albums. It is no longer in the hands of other people. They're doing their own thing. And then they got control of that, of where it's going, what it sounds like, what it's going to be.
That self-sufficiency that came out of
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, I think
Yes.
is a huge theme for so many artists
Mm-hmm.
now. And I think that's one other silver lining is people recognizing their capabilities, and that the worst things, the things that you think you need the most going away. If that doesn't stop you, that's because this is your vocation and what you love to do.
Yeah.
You're going to find a way.
You know, Maggie, seriously, like, it makes me really happy that you're doing what you're doing, and that the future of the industry, like, that we're seeing happen, is in the hands of artists like you, because there's intention behind it. It's thoughtful. It's real. You know what I mean? It's not a package. You get what I'm saying? It's not made to order. It's you.
Well, I love you for saying that. And that's something that I promised myself before I did this record. I was like, this is going to be intentional. And I'm going to have to answer to all of this. I want this to be like a real representation of what I want to do, and not make an album of singles or whatever the hell motivated decisions that were made on my behalf earlier on. Not out of malice, but just out of, this is how things are done. This is the template, and you're going to push this single at radio for 60 weeks and you'll be one dimensional, and this is the only song people are going to hear of you. That's not how we're doing it anymore.
I want to put something in your head too. Like, you're at the beginning of the new music industry.
Yeah.
That's like literally you're at the beginning of it, because we were just talking about artists finding new ways to kind of like do everything, and genres melting, and just more people collaborating. It's not even like a specific band name anymore. It's like whoever's on stage with me, it's like a music collaborative. And that is really what Aaron just said is true. Like, I just, through this conversation, I've just noticed how introspective you are, even in answering your questions. And I can really appreciate somebody like that who takes a moment to speak and use your brain instead of like, the responsible answer or the responded answers that you always use. Like, having somebody like you that's introspective, not scared to push the envelope and be diverse, that is fucking rad right now. That's
you guys are so
cool.
easy to have those introspective conversations with. I think sometimes, artists feel like they got to get through their talking points, and you don't really have that rapport that you find, and it's just easy to talk about the things that matter right now.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
That
you
means
doing
a
that.
lot,
It does
Maggie.
mean a lot
That
to
does
us,
mean a lot.
because
We don't script anything. We don't know what the hell. We
I
don't
love
know
it.
what
I'm
we're
like-
going to say from the moment we crack the mics until.
Can we hang out in
Fuck
real life?
yeah.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. When you come to
Well,
Portland.
this is real life.
This
You know what
is.
I mean, like,
But when you
in
guys,
real-
when you guys come out here, let us know, for real. And
we always say that to everybody, and And we actually have company right now that are taking us up on
Andy
it.
Frasco came and stayed
He
with. He
did?
stayed here in the house.
No way.
We became
Dude,
close
I
with
hooked Andy Frasco up. I gave him a treatment downstairs. We had a blast, and he had Granny's blanket on. It was
oh my god,
like for real though.
And he came back a second time when he got back here to Portland. He couldn't
No
wait to come
shit.
see us.
So-
He needed a little.
I love that.
He needed
What
a
kind
little
of treatment
harbor.
did you give him?
No.
Well, when you're on the road, you feeling all fucked up. You're tired, you're hungry, you're spun, you're whatever. And we already had an opportunity. He was gonna come over and do the podcast. And when there was like an hour lull between everybody getting home. And so I was like, just saw Andy. I was like, Andy, come downstairs, dude. We got an hour. And I gave him some Reiki, some energy love. And I did some movement of fluffed up his auric field, and got that shit out of there that like lags on you from the town before, and it was so awesome because it just like literally like if it was like a bag of shit, but like your garbage from everything around you, just left it out there and came upstairs fresh, floating.
Well, full disclosure, Mel's an amazing esthetician too.
Yeah, well, I didn't do aesthetics on him because we didn't have time for that shit. But no, man, I honestly,
Yeah,
it's like
get that energy out of there first before you get the facial.
Yeah, we couldn't even touch it. But no, just that's it. Just love. To be honest, it's love.
That's so wonderful that you even were perceptive to that, because it is true. It's an incredible absorption of energy, and it is like sometimes on Sundays I get like major Sunday scaries because you're just like, I just had this album release show on Thursday, and then we go to summer camp and you meet all these amazing people, and it's just like 11 for days on end where you're feeding off the energy of other people, you're giving them all your energy. And it's nice that you recognize that and you're able to help them out with
my
that,
bag,
because
Maggie. That's literally my bag with musicians specifically, because we happen to just be in that field. But I started to notice when we were talking to the musicians, because I am an energy worker, and I started to see the effects energetically. And so my heart is for that, because I'm sitting here taking energy from you guys too. I'm like, fucking yeah, get it, sing it, like do it. And so you're like fucking giving it. But that's
sing it, do it.
Right. But then you're getting some of my energy, sure, but like you're giving hell of a lot more than I'm getting, And so when the opportunity arises and it shows itself to give back, I jump on it like immediately. Like when my daughter's her husband's friends bands, they came, Sego, and they came and stayed, and we were able to like just have them over and
cook dinner,
and it was like the freaking best thing in the world, because it really was just family, kind of like the dissolution of family bonds, just blood. No, if you come into my house, you're family now. And if you look like you got a headache, you better be sure I'm going to go take you downstairs and give you a little rub down, and then you can go back up to the party and smoke a bowl and hang out.
Yeah, a little recalibration. Everyone needs it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my special talent for my roadies, my friends that are,
on the road.
That's an invaluable talent from where I'm standing.
So
thanks, Maggie. Offer stands for you.
You are cordially invited. The door is open anytime you're in the Pacific Northwest.
That's why I was going to say, you and Austin, of course.
Yeah.
And I was going to say to you too, for you and Austin, congratulations on finding a manager that became your life partner, and shit.
Hell yeah.
You two are strong.
He's the best. I don't recommend it to everybody. I know I think that it's tough to be on the road with someone that you're married to and you're working with, but I don't know, it's just the ultimate partnership for me.
I saw the gleam in your eye just now. Real, like I saw that. That was cool.
And we really share this together. And we're independent, so there's not a label behind us. So that makes it even more like, this is our baby. We have all the skin in the game. He's genuinely looking out for me, and I for him.
Oh man.
And for our loved ones. I love my band, and he knows that, and he makes sure that they're treated as such. And it's nice to have such an open line of communication with someone that you're building this with.
You know, I want to just tell you before we go one last time. Thank you for saying what you said at the beginning of the podcast today about we need to be willing to listen to each other. We can have differing opinions, and that's okay, but we need to be willing to listen. And that saying that right now takes guts. And I appreciate it because, goddamn, I feel like that too. And it really needs to be shouted from the rooftops. And your album is doing that. And just thanks, Maggie. It's really, really amazing. So appreciate you.
You all are wonderful. And listen to ourselves too, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for, yes. Let's underscore that too.
Yeah.
I bulldoze the shit out of myself sometimes. It's like, come on.
Don't we all?
Tell me something
down
I don't
and never
do
talk
too.
about it again.
I know that.
Yeah.
All right, Albie. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much. We mean it.
Yeah, when you come out, let us know for real.
I can't wait to see you guys out there.
Right
Cool.
on. And if you need help
to
with
you.
any of that, let us know. We want to do anything we can have to help you out.
I need to get my treatment.
Hell yeah,
yes,
girl.
you do.
You're
Let's do
booked. We'll talk to you soon, Maggie.
guys.
Take care.
Night.
Bye. You too.
What are we fighting for? Don't even know anymore. Baby, aren't you worried? We're caught in the fury. What are we fighting for? How did we lose our way? Baby, I still keep the faith. Used to share everything, now we don't know where to begin. How did we lose our way? I don't know everything, but you'll never know what I can bring to the table if you don't have a seat with me. Honey, won't you hear me out? When did it get so loud? If you don't understand, just keep holding my head. Honey, won't you hear me out? I don't know everything, but you'll never know what I can bring to the table if you don't have a seat with me. I don't know everything, but you'll never know what I can bring to the table if you don't have a seat with me. And I'm hoping down the line with a little grace and a little time, we can stop keeping score. That's what we're fighting for. What are we fighting for? What are we fighting for? What are we fighting for? What
It's the new format. Here we go. We're on the back end.
We're
now.
in it.
We are definitely in it. Hey, No Simple Road family, we're back.
If you stayed through that beautiful conversation, now welcome to
The second half.
Yeah.
The
part
recap.
deux.
More beautiful conversation.
Yeah. La, la.
No. Hey, man. So, yeah, it's been a really amazing couple of days, everybody. First of all, I just want to back up and say a huge thank you to Maggie Rose for coming on the show.
Thank you, Maggie.
And for spending time with us. And
I want to do it again. I felt like we had so much more to talk about.
yeah, I agree, Mel. Like,
I really do, Maggie. And if you come to Portland, I know we already told you this, but come over. Let's do another, like a swap cast or something. Let's do something awesome.
Mel will give you a spa day.
Yes.
For sure.
Well, we talked about that too, but definitely have you back on.
Yeah. And thanks again for hanging out with us. It means a lot.
Yeah.
And having you part of the Osiris family means a lot. And we wish nothing but wonderful, great, beautiful things for you. And it's awesome to watch your meteoric rise.
It's the Dolly Parton. And and most of all, I wish you love.
Oh my gosh. Mel's Dolly Partoning today.
I have a serious love for Dolly Parton and respect for how she lives her life. And I aim to emulate some of her behaviors.
Her zhuzh.
She's so, I was going to say perfect, but that's not the word. It's what I'm.
She perfectly embodies how you want to be.
Yeah, lot, not her totality. I love who she is. I love who I am, but some of the ways that she thinks is so unique, and she's so, everything is creative. Everything that she's doing, she's creating and writing, and she is very loving. She doesn't talk about anything that's going to upset anybody.
Mm-hmm.
She's an entertainer first, and that's what she said with her own mouth. And I thought, wow, she took this on as a life's purpose.
She realized what she is about and embraced it fully.
Yes, and never cheapened herself, but always was the butt of her own joke.
That's fucking rad. And the thing that stuck with me that I heard her say was, I knew I was going to be a star, and I was going to be a big star.
She's like, why wouldn't I be the biggest star? If I'm going to do it. And she just had such a confidence. That's what it was. She treats herself well. She's silly enough with herself to know that she, has flaws, but she doesn't talk about them and constantly bring them up, but she also sings about them. So she's getting it off her chest, and everybody's singing along. And what?
That's why she's always seemed to be able to play well off of all of her stuff.
Yes. She writes all these sad songs, and they are beautiful, angelic
one of my
lullabies.
favorites ever. I just remember from a kid is Hard Candy Christmas.
Yes.
that I remember that as a kid. My grandpa loved Dolly Parton, always did. And she's been around all of our life.
She has the most unique voice.
And I remember you and I were driving through the Oregon mountain, the Coast Range, listening to the Dolly Parton podcast.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, a fucking Dolly Parton podcast. And it was so fucking interesting.
It was so good.
So good.
It was so good. I just always loved her. And when I was younger, I didn't really I wasn't really a fan of too much, but I really liked her. And she was just always so fabulous. So
hell yeah.
And she cared. Yeah. She talked about her wig. She talked about she didn't even, again, she knew who she was. She talked about it. She didn't hide behind it. And she stayed true to herself. And she's not even reinventing herself. She's just adding more to her full plate.
Yeah. I think we could all take a page from that book and just
truly
embody who we are fully and not try and be like anybody else, embrace our uniqueness and move forward.
Well, yeah. And I told even Simon, I was like, you need to see this. And it's like your mom recommending a book. You got to do it.
And he looked at you like,
what's it on? I haven't seen it yet.
It's on
Let
Netflix.
the people know.
It's a Netflix.
It's on Netflix. And then the Dolly Parton podcast is on all podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
So,
and it's well done.
besides Dolly Parton, Mel,
That was Mel's PSA for the
Yeah.
check out Dolly
Well,
Parton.
Okay, I'll bring it back around. Dolly Parton is a big deal because she signifies something to me, like a certain, like kind of when I found out about Queen Afua, and I was like so interested, and there are certain characteristics that these women have.
well,
that,
I guess it's fitting for Maggie Rose too. Like,
yeah. Oh,
this
yeah.
is
Absolutely.
apropos of this conversation.
Yes. Her whole way of doing things is something that I aspire to be because of her neutrality and her ability to have such a wide scale of fans and popularity, but they come together because of her, and nobody's talking about any differences in that moment. There's music and love and excitement and familiarity and sadness. Like, people were crying, like a husband and wife were sitting there, I Will Always Love You, singing that, crying, tears on their cheeks. It was
And those people
amazing.
are Republican and Democrat and
none of it
Jewish
matters.
and Christian and Muslim, and it's everybody
Everybody's
together
there.
doing their thing.
3-year-olds,
surrounded.
90-year-olds.
Yeah, and it's all about the music.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with anything else, and they've
Nope.
come together in this place to enjoy themselves.
And she's powerful. Like, her voice, I don't know where it comes from, man, but she belts it out, and she kind of is like talking
And
also and sassy through it, but then
She's
like
commanding.
commanding.
I've heard that from many
Yes.
times. Where she's one that like come in the best way, commands attention.
Yeah.
You could be like farting around and be like, what is
Have
going
you ever
on?
seen her, Apple?
Live? No.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen her
Yeah.
live.
That's somebody who I would love to see.
So, Mel, who did you just see?
Well, one that I just loved seeing was Fish at the Chase Center.
Yeah.
And
What?
do we need to bring that up?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
The Chase Center? Well, it sounds like you should.
Yeah.
I hope you.
Yeah. Do we
The
bring it
Chase.
up?
Should I bring up the
You already
actual
brought-
show
it's
that
up.
we were at?
Yeah. You
Well, yeah, you got to do a little review
Well,
on
okay.
it.
The review was
Should
this.
I bring that up?
I wasn't.
No, leave it off the air.
I'm looking forward to this because I wasn't there for this one.
That's
again.
true.
Aaron and Mel which is awesome. I love it when you guys do it. You need the time
You
and
know,
everything.
I love doing it more and more, and every time we do it, I fall in love with you again, babe.
Aw.
But this time
Me too,
I
baby.
felt really special about this time for some reason. Maybe it was the hotel room, maybe it was the show, maybe it was going with Cody and Bree. So it started out, Cody and Bree pick us up at the house. Perfect timing. We chat. He gives us awesome Grateful Dead playing cards.
Oh, did you get your playing card?
That are so beautiful.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And so we head to the airport in his amazing, beautiful car that is like,
The Telluride.
that
It's
Telluride
like
is
driving a cloud, a
it's
marshmallow cloud.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we get to the airport, perfect time. We park the car. Bree totally takes control of the ticket, the key, parking. Like, she has everything on lockdown.
Totally taken care of.
Speaking of emulating powerful women, that is something that I saw and I was like, that's what I want to be like. Not scared to be like, but anyway, so that was awesome. We get to the plane. I forget my phone in the car.
Well, we got into the terminal.
The
You
terminal.
forgot your.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't get this far to the plane. We got to the terminal. We're all hoofing it. And then
Mel's like, oh my God, I fucked up bad. And I'm like, what? I really, I messed up. And I'm thinking, she doesn't have her ID. She forgot her whatevers. My phone's in the car. And I'm
no,
like,
I didn't say my phone's in the car. I thought
oh,
my phone
I lost my phone. And Bree's like, Mel, you were just looking at your phone in the back seat. Your phone's
she's
in
like,
the car.
she's like, oh no, it's in the car. That's what she's like. Oh no, it's in the car. Like 100%. And I just believed her. I thought I lost my phone, but I believed her. I was like, okay.
I just got to interject real quick for people that haven't listened. People have been with us from the beginning know that Mel has a tendency to do this
every
do.
show.
A lot of times, particularly airport stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was it?
I hate
We
that
were
was
driving
that
to
was
the airport.
Chicago.
She
That
didn't
was
have her ID.
Chicago.
Oh
Back
my
in
God.
Chicago when you left
Oh
your
my
purse
God.
at the hotel and we were already at the airport.
We were driving to the airport. You didn't
Oh,
have your
and we were
purse.
already
shit.
running late. That's the one I really remember. But Mel does that. Most of the time it's like it's like we just gotta go grab it real quick.
Well, yes. Some entity, some beautiful ancestor is always watching out for me because
Yeah, his name's Aaron.
when that's true. I can't lie, baby.
Oh,
But
snap.
when I have little snafus here and there, it's never that bad that I can't. It's like
it's part of the adventure.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of is. It's the little snag. But so anyway, we get to the hotel. We get an Uber, get to the hotel, and it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It's like got this like metal sculpture and these beautiful, huge pieces of artwork and photography.
They're
And
playing the Grateful Dead when we walked
yeah,
in.
Grateful Dead. It's kind of, like cool. Got like the stairs that reminded me of Amsterdam with those little sliced, pieces when you go up a kind of a winding staircase. We get to the second floor. Our room is super cute, small, perfect, quaint, but it was like sexy and kind of like elegant.
Mirrors
at the same
on the ceiling
time.
and champagne on
No mirrors
ice.
on the ceiling.
What did it say on the bathroom walls?
Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead, Jimi Hendrix Experience,
Okay, it was all names,
Train,
okay.
all different
Violent
artists.
Femmes.
So if you saw my story, I posted some pictures. Anyway, they were super cute. The room was just great, and we had rooms right next to each other, Cody and Bree, like right across the hall. Have a beautiful lunch with
Billy and Diana.
wow.
And let me just say, Billy actually has been a guest on the show. If you go back in the archives, Billy Kramer, this is my long lost
Brother.
soul brother.
Mhm.
Him and Diana just, I don't know. They fill a very special place in my heart and Mel's and Apple's, and I'm just really grateful for them.
Yes.
And they did for us in San Francisco what we do for people when they come here. Like we saw Billy the day after the show, and he was like, "This is your home base. When you come to San Francisco, this is home.
Love
Here's
that.
the pastries. Here's the coffee. There's beers in the fridge. Take your shoes off. Chill out. Do what you want. The bathroom's down the hall."
I just gotta say, I'll never forget when we first heard from Billy. Remember he sent that
Oh,
video
yeah.
in of him in the fur coat with the
Playing the
Oh my
glasses,
gosh.
playing on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
You just made me remember that. And
Playing
that
Brown-Eyed
was-
Women.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And we were like, what is this? And yeah,
It
love you,
was-
Billy. Sorry I didn't get to see you guys. But
Are you going to tell him that cool story about what happened in the airport
What happened?
with Billy?
Oh, so yeah. So we're he actually gave us a ride to the airport when we left San Francisco.
So the first day we got there, we had lunch with Billy before the concert. He took us, him and Diana took us to this incredible Burmese restaurant, Burmese like fusion restaurant. Ate there. We went our separate ways, and then we go to the concert.
Let me just say, so first of all, we've been with Osiris Media for going on 5 years. And RJ from Helping Friendly Podcast and Undermine is our boss, basically. He's the CEO of Osiris. And so we've known each other for 5 years, but him and I have never met face to face this entire time we've worked together. And finally, in San Francisco, they were podcasting. Helping Friendly Podcast is doing their on tour live thing, and they were podcasting from outside the Chase Center. And I walked up, and we finally fucking met RJ in person. And dude, the sweetest energy from that cat.
The look on RJ's face when he looked back and saw you and realized who you were, we were walking like to, behind RJ. So when we started to come up, he just kind of glanced like over his shoulder and looked, and then he saw that it was Aaron, and he did this double take, and his eyes was like, what? But they were literally in the middle.
Yeah, they were
of
live
a
podcasting.
conversation.
Couldn't stop.
In the middle of a live conversation. So, we gave them their space or whatever, and then I went to go grab some merch, and then Aaron went over and
Yeah, I had a few minutes on the Helping Friendly podcast.
So listen to that.
That was rad. And
but we were talking about Billy and the airport story.
yeah, well, we had just gotten to Fish, actually. And I just want to say that meeting them was fucking amazing. And I'm so happy. Like, I've loved working with Osiris ever since we've been working with him. But actually, like, feeling somebody's energy in person is very different than talking to them on a telephone or seeing them on a Zoom call. And now I feel like I know who we're working for, like, energetically.
Yeah, you got to.
And I'm very
change frequency.
I couldn't be fucking happier knowing that that's where we're at. And yeah, but what I wanted to say was what they were talking about on their podcast was, at least when I got there, was the difference between summer tour and fall tour Fish.
Yeah.
And I never really had thought about that before. Even with the Dead, when I saw the Dead outdoors and then the Grateful Dead indoors, it was a different animal. But I never really put it in that perspective for myself. I never thought about it, but it is different. When you're outdoors, usually the first set is light. You can't really see the light show, right? Especially like at the Gorge, it's light till 8 o'clock or whatever
You
during
deal
the
with
summer.
the sun a lot.
Yeah. And the sound is great, but it dissipates with the wind and it goes off into the air.
Yeah, if you're in the back, you're hearing people, talking or laughing or whatever.
But indoors is a completely different experience than an outdoor show. The energy is more contained inside of the building. And
there's one focal point.
And it's a little bit this might seem like a silly word to say, but it feels a little more dangerous, a little more dirty, a little more edge than an outdoor vibe, at least to me. And dark would be the wrong word too. I haven't found the right adjective, I guess, but it's just a little bit edgier. And I don't know what Kuroda is taking, what drugs he's on. But whatever it is, brother, keep fucking taking it and do more. Because whatever he's doing with that light show, I've never seen no shit like that. Like, it is fucking amazing.
Why does it got to be drugs?
What
if he's like this insanely creative, just visual dude?
Then keep doing your meditation and eating vegan. Or
whatever you're doing,
whatever
you're doing it right.
And that band, like, it was Brianne's first show.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope they tear it down tonight for her. And first of all, Cody is a new Fish fan. He's only been to one Fish show. This was Brianne's first Fish show. At Cody's first show, the song that sprung him was Possum. And they opened the set with Possum.
It was one single note that came out before he screamed, Possum! He was so excited in his cute little blue outfit with his tight pants. It was, when seeing somebody that happy, there's nothing like it.
And
it's like watching a kid open a birthday present.
And he knew it was coming from the Gorge. He got so excited about how the crowd interacts with Possum. Well, all their songs, but when the whole crowd was singing Possum, freaking, he was like, "This is my favorite." And then he was probably one of the first ones to scream Possum in the whole thing. As soon as he heard a note,
the dancing that was coming out of Cody was like nothing I've ever seen.
It was beautiful.
It was like a little kid so happy that got the ice cream that they were wanting.
And then after the first set, so they finish the first set, the lights come on, and Brianne like huddles us up. And she's like, okay, I get it. And she said it just like this, too. I get it. The music is phenomenal, but the crowd, I can't believe that the crowd is literally melting with the music. And I was like, yep, you got it. That's it. That's fish.
It was really cool to hear her say that. She's very like, she's the sweetest person ever, but she's, she kind of keeps a lot of her
Close to the vest.
Yeah, close to the vest. And so that explanation and just being around her the whole weekend and just feeling her, feeling us out, it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Cool
not feeling us out, but you know what I mean? Like just
getting to know us better.
Exactly, spending time with us. And then Cody had to leave early, so we got to spend like the whole day with her, and that was so fantastic.
Yeah, day after the show, still spun, like wandering around San Francisco, and then Billy hit us up and was like, if you guys need a place, come here. So we went over there and played verbal ping pong for 3 hours.
I got to interject because I wasn't there, but they already like processing in my mind what I missed. I'm so jealous of you guys getting to see Billy and Diana's cats.
Oh my God, dude, those kitties, Buttons. I can't remember the other one's name.
Coco
and Buttons. These cats are like those flat-faced, short-hair cats.
My favorite cats.
And they make a noise like this. It sounds like a little Wookiee. They're fucking hilarious and cool. And it was.
They outdid themselves. They took us to the airport, bought us beautiful pastries, took us to this amazing Burmese restaurant, hospitality, amazing conversation. It's like the conversation that makes you feel like you worked some stuff out in your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
like I feel blessed from that conversation.
And I am, one of my brothers and I are estranged. We don't talk anymore. And Billy physically reminds me of that brother. And as we were driving to the airport, they gave us a ride to the airport. We're driving, and I'm thinking to myself, like, we're having this amazing conversation. And Billy is like the kind of friend that is always encouraging you to step out more and like giving you reasons why you should be doing the stuff that you're doing and whatever, and just amazing. And I was thinking to myself as we're driving, I'm like, this is literally like healing the void in my life that I had with my brother.
Like if his brother were to be a good
if
big brother.
If my brother was cool.
If his brother was a cool big brother.
This is what he would be like.
Yes.
And when I got there, got to the airport, I was like, wow, like this made me feel better about that whole situation. And I didn't say anything to him. I was just thinking it. Gave him a hug and started to walk inside, and then Mel.
Well, I was sitting in the back with Diana and Bree, and we were having our whole own conversation. So whatever they were talking about, I don't even know what they were talking about. Every now and then we'd kind of, mix convos. But so I just look in the front and I just look at Diana and I was like, look how cute this is. She's like, I know. And I was like, this is so perfect for both of them. She's like, this is so good for Billy. And I was like, I know, for Aaron too. So that was all that was said between us. It was just like a few seconds of acknowledging it, the cuteness that was going on. And then we get out of the car and we're standing in line. And I was like, babe, I told Billy, because when I gave Billy a hug goodbye, I was like, thank you so much for who you are to Aaron. I go, I just appreciate, like, you're like his literal brother. Like, you look like you could be family. I go, the closeness, I was like, it's just amazing. And I just want to say thank you for that, because it's healing. Or
and
whatever.
I had been thinking that the whole way to the airport, and then she said it to Billy. Basically.
I said that to Billy when I hugged him. When I went inside the airport, Aaron and I are standing in line, just, talking about how great they were. I was like,
we were on the escalator, and I was like, I feel like my relationship with Billy is healing my relationship with my brother.
And I was like, oh my God, that's
I just said that.
I just told that to Billy. And he's like, what?
What?
So I just recapped what I just said to Aaron. And he's like, what the heck?
That's weird. Like when a frequency like that goes out there and you get like confirmation of it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of healing that went on in that unexpected, unknowing. Like not like going to like, I'm going to go get healing from this. I'm going to work this out there. I'm going to pray this out. No, it was like, I'm going to go there. And then like, oh shit, you just got healed from that cyst on your wrist. You didn't even ask for it.
To me, that's when shit usually works right. When you're not,
Yeah.
I'm going
Well,
this
sometimes you
weekend
wanna
to
go
a
with
treatment
intention.
and I'm going to fix it.
No,
It
but
works
like
better when you're
sometimes
just
it's good to
open
go
and
in
it
with like a
happens.
good open.
Oh, yeah. Just going
But
to
this
life
was
with that
like-
all the time.
Hakuna Matata type of stuff. And then here I'm seeing Aaron getting healed and like having this incredible camaraderie with Bree and
Cody.
well, Bree and Cody, but also Diana too. Like it was such a beautiful time for connection and like intimate connection.
Fish is a beautiful facilitator, man. They are a really great, joy is the thing that they bring. At least for me, it's joy. When you see that crowd, that's joy. That's what it looks like. That party is joy happening. And I feel like that's what gets channeled. And then you bring that out into the world and you're bringing it with you. And then magic happens. It's fucking dope.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really, really amazing. And we're on our way there right now.
Yeah.
To go see them in Eugene.
Again.
And then we're going to Vegas.
I'm not expecting unexpected healing during this next 2 days of shows.
You excited, Apple?
I always expect healing. It's just natural progression.
It really is.
You excited, man?
Yeah, I am excited.
So I know that Steam is your jam.
Yeah.
And they played it last night.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you're looking forward to hearing?
I don't now it's just like you know what, Ghost. I'd like to see Ghost again. They did that a few shows back on the last tour. I like that, but I've had that. I don't know. I can't really think of. I'd agree with like John threw that out there, like Harpua or any of the like tail
game hinge
stuff. I don't pull that out a lot. I said earlier on the patio to you and was listening to last night's Steam from last night. It's time to do like a Eugene tweezer. I'd be happy with the badass like jammed out tweezer that like beat the Tahoe tweezer.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Or that 48-minute farmhouse.
I'm still.
I'll take a 48-minute farmhouse.
They could stretch that out and get groovy with anything. That's the thing. I just want to. They are so good
right now.
It doesn't matter. They're kind of like the Grateful Dead in that way, because there was both of us. I think everybody. There's songs for periods that you don't get in the beginning or that you don't really like, and then like seeing them live, it changes things. Getting to see a song that you're not that into, and you get a lot. And then you're like, holy shit. Like, that's happened to me with some of them that Mike sings. Like, how many people are you? And stuff like that. Like, when you see it on a stream and until you're there and witness it and are part of it, melting with the crowd into the music, then you get it. So,
yeah, I was like that with
Bring on a bunch of shit I haven't heard.
I was like that with Everything's Right. And this last show, fucking, that song hit me in a particular special way. I had going into the show on Saturday, I was like a ball of anxiety. It was odd. Like Chase Center was weird. There was no lot scene. There was no like shakedown really. It was just people walking around. Was kind of
not
sparse.
really. There was none.
Yeah, and like there was no line to get in the show. You just like walked in. We just walked right in. There was nobody in front of us, which is odd,
but also kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Way.
I'm not complaining,
it was.
but going in, I was like, I don't know. I was just having a hard time, man. I was really wound up, and it was cool to like.
What were you wound up about? You were saying it's hard, but what was going on? Because the scene was this. Super, super beautiful weather.
Mm-hmm.
We were having an Arnold Palmer, Cody and Bree talking, sitting seats.
All right, Arnold Palmer, I'm very upset.
Yeah, see?
He makes lemonade into tea. I just, no.
But anyway, so we had all this.
I can't answer that.
It was, it couldn't have been any more gorgeous. Like,
but it could be the anxiety because we both like
it's pre-trip.
And also the traveling right now. It's hard to like. We said that when we were both in dinner. Like like getting there. The plane, it takes a little while to get over the plane and stuff and airport. And
that wasn't it.
Weird.
That was not. It was pre-tripping jitters. Is what it was. Like my stomach was in a knot. My hands were clammy. I was in the future thinking about tripping later, and that had me balled up, and it was no fun. Like that sucks feeling like that, especially when I'm doing air quotes, having fun. You know what I mean? You're doing something you've been looking fucking forward to forever, and then you're ruining it for yourself by. But
you know what that does
shitty.
Sometimes though? It also, because we've all done that. I've done that several times. Usually that ends up making in retrospect, like that anxiety, once it's gone, it almost makes the trip even more elevated.
Oh my God, dude.
And better. Because we've talked about that so many times. It's like, oh, before the show, I can't believe that, and you're not in the groove yet. And then once you do, it's like, I'm a silly fool.
Yeah.
For all that stuff, and then you're even higher.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. It took me about a song and a half when the show started, and everything fell off of me, and I was fucking grooving, and I was like, oh, you silly goose, how funny,
silly me.
But my point to telling that story was Everything's Right was in the second set, and the lyrics to Everything's Right are all about being in the moment. And that was the whole problem for me that day. Yeah. And it fucking hit me in a certain way. And they fucking jammed that song out, man. And that's my.
What did I say way before Fish said one thing?
Well,
about
when
it?
we were walking in, I said to Mel, I was like, you're always so chill before a show. I asked her, I was like, do you get pre-trip jitters ever? How does that not happen?
Well, and I said, yeah, of course I do, but I don't go there. I just choose not to go there. It's something that I won't do. Like, I know it's going to happen, but look, we're here with Cody and Bree. I'm like literally enjoying our company. I'm like excited about the merch booth. Like, we just saw RJ. Like, we met this dude, David. Like, there was like a cool bar, like there was like eye candy to watch, you know what I mean, like all these like people, cool outfits and stuff. So like I was just like in the moment, like being grateful to be in San Francisco, and I was enjoying it. And so that's usually one of my favorite things about like going in a group, is because that happens to you a lot, so that you can
have something else to do besides hang out with me.
Unfortunately,
those clammy hands.
Yes, exactly.
I get it, man. I don't want to hang out with me when I'm like that.
It's not good vibes at all.
You're trying to ditch yourself.
I am trying to ditch
Aaron
myself.
went down on floor, dude. You should go find him.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
All right. Yeah. So that was fucking amazing. I don't know. They're the shit right now.
I got a question for Mel.
Yep.
To back up to the very beginning of this recap,
Okay.
you said that you headed over to the merch booth. What was happening at the merch booth?
Well,
Got a dope hat.
Did you get anything?
Well, I did. I got the most incredible Fish socks. They're not the blue ones that I got you guys. They're green and orange, and they are so comfortable, and I love them so much. But I originally went to get a cute t-shirt that I saw. The second I turned the corner, I saw the merch. I was like, I'm getting that shirt right there. Well, I have this weird in-between size that how I like my shirts to fit. I don't like the women's cut. I don't like how it looks on me. I have big shoulders, and it just like doesn't fall right on me. So I like the guys cut, but the guys are too huge, and a small for like a unisex is like a large on me, and it's stupid. So
I got a Fishman moo-moo.
So my perfect size would be a youth large. But you know what? They don't carry a youth large. They carry up to a youth medium.
Oh,
So they just stick you.
Yes.
You're stuck.
We have
you're
the
stuck
no
in this
Mel size.
And they sell no extra small in the unisex. So I can't even like, okay, like fine, I'll like shrink it. I'll like do something cute with it. No. So I wanted, I got the socks. I got the socks. That's a long story. I was going to go longer, but that was.
Were you asking because of the Fishman moo-moo?
No, I was asking because she mentioned merch. She mentioned I'm like a dog when somebody says I could be a mile away and you're merch booth?
What?
What'd you get? How'd it look?
We got you a present too. I just haven't given it to you.
Yeah, hell yeah. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did
So that's the end of the show now.
Oh,
we have to
we
get
did.
to the gift giving part of the show.
No,
Thank
I
you
have
all.
an announcement.
Oh.
What's an announcement?
I had an epiphany
What?
during the show.
Okay.
Was that answered all your questions?
Yeah, I just
All
wanted
right.
to know what was happening in the merch booth. Was the poster dope for the show?
Poster was amazing.
The poster
and
was cool.
The cat that was next to me, it was his second Fish show.
Oh.
And he, during the second set, he's like, "Have you seen a poster around here, bro?" And I was like, "No, man." And so like we were
he
like
lost
looking,
it?
we were looking under the seats, and it was gone.
It's the
And he
worst.
was like, "Dude, I wouldn't think that somebody would steal my poster at Fish." And I was like, "I'm gonna tell you something, dude. Been to a lot of these shows. Nobody stole your poster. It's fucking here. You're just not finding it." And he was like, "I don't think so, man." I go, "Trust me, brother. It's here." He's like, "I don't know. I'm going to go try and get another one." And I was like, "We're in the middle of the second set. Posters are sold out." He's like, "No, I'm going to go to the merch booth." And he split. 2 minutes after he split, Bree's cousin is like, "Was that guy looking for this?" And he holds up the poster tube. Dude didn't come back. We couldn't find him.
Oh, fuck.
So, yes, the poster was dope as fuck. The best poster I've seen so far is the one for Sacramento with the dragon.
I
And,
saw
dude,
that.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
They had
Can't wait to see what Eugene.
They had one signed at the Water Wheel booth. $750 donation. It's signed by the band. All the money goes to charity. So
Wow.
I asked Mel if she would buy it for me. She said no.
Dang, Mel.
I mean, it was dope. If I was balling out of control, I
Yeah,
would have swooped it up
that's a large
immediately. I would have
purchase.
been like, send that in a frame. Here's my address.
So
But
anyway, I want to get serious for a minute.
this week
Yeah.
on No Simple Road.
Apple doesn't know about this. This is going to be news to Apple. So I haven't been 100% honest with all of you out there about something. And I'm going to come clean. And
I'm sorry. I don't
I
know
feel like
why
there
I'm
should
laughing.
be like, duh.
it's actually not funny.
It's not funny.
This isn't funny.
I may sometimes I laugh inappropriately.
It has to do with Dead and Company. And, you know, we brought it up a couple of weeks ago why we haven't been talking about their tour. And, you know, we told you guys that it was because there was no West Coast shows. And that is partially true. That's half true. So we didn't lie to y'all. We just didn't tell you the whole story, or at least I didn't tell you the whole story. This is all me. This has nothing to do with Apple and Mel.
Yeah,
this is all
all Aaron.
Aaron's bullshit right here. So strap in for Aaron's bullshit corner. You know, when the Grateful Dead, and I'm not talking about Dead and Company right now, I'm talking about the Grateful Dead, are such a seminal, important part of my person, of who I am, that it's sacred to me. That thing, that energy of the Grateful Dead ethos is an integral part of who I am and how I conduct myself in the world. And I'm really fucking confused and deeply sad about the conduct of the Grateful Dead organization right now. And I'll explain what I'm talking about. When I was coming up as a punk rock kid, all the music that I listened to, my angst and all of that brought about a really deep-seated distrust of our government and the man. You know, the whole fucking don't trust anybody over 30 thing, and like stick it to the man and tune in, turn on, drop out, and all the fuck authority. That was part of my upbringing. And part of the reason that I resonated with the Grateful Dead so deeply when I walked into my first show and when I found out about what they were about and where they came from is that they never took a stand publicly on anything political. That space was safe 100% from any coercion whatsoever in any direction ever. I knew that Jerry was not going to fuck with my head or try and influence me into thinking one way or the other about anything. And it made me fall in love with that thing and make it a part of who I am and what I stand for. And in creating No Simple Road, that's been my goal, is to personify that and create a space that's safe for everybody, no matter where they stand on the political spectrum, what their stripe is, what they believe in. This is a place where we can all come and hang out and love the music. But lately, my community has been co-opted. Whether I agree with that thing or not is not the question. It's that platform is being used to promote an agenda. And I don't fucking agree with it. I think it's bullshit. And it hurts. And I'm confused and sad. And I don't understand where it's coming from. And it makes me personally feel like I got fucking fooled for 30 fucking years. And I'm pissed off. And I can't in good conscience go and be a part of that thing because I don't fucking agree with using that to push anything political. Again, whether I agree with it or not. That space where you have a platform where you are psychedelically influencing minds, you have no fucking right to push anybody's thinking one way or the other. You leave them the fuck alone and let them figure it out for themselves, man. That's what Jerry stood for. I know that.
Amen.
And that is not where we are now, and it's fucked up.
Yeah. No, amen. I think a lot of people feel like that.
Oh, I don't know. I
think they do. And it's, yeah.
And it hurts, dude. My whole house is covered with Grateful Dead memorabilia. Like, my entire youth was spent there.
Yeah, it changed our lives forever, and it's kind of tarnished.
And what it's becoming right now, it's confusing and makes me sad.
And another thing that makes me sad about that is that influence that's being distorted now is also influencing other bands that have come up behind them, and we're adopting the same
man, the music
principles and everything to start twisting that and using it.
Music is an avenue for change and
love.
Yeah,
and
man.
magic and love and light is like music. And now you're going to use that as a tool.
Yeah,
for
whatever.
Other bad things.
Yeah, and
I totally
bad
get it.
or good. Look, it's not about agreeing or not agreeing. Like, either side should not be brought from that stage.
It shouldn't be about sides at all. It should be about music.
No, it's about connection and community. And
it's a place to celebrate.
When you're spouting an agenda or a perspective, I should say, you're alienating the other side, whatever the other side is, and those people are now left out because you think they're wrong. And I told Billy this the other day, man. I'm turning 50 this year. And if my 50 years on this planet can give any of you out there a little bit of advice, I'm going to give you this. I've lived long enough to know I don't know a fucking thing. That I think I'm right about and have my opinions right now, all those things could be wrong next week, and I'll have my fucking foot in my mouth. So I've lived long enough to learn how to keep my fucking opinions to myself when it comes to shit like that. When you start talking about politics and all that, this isn't the place. This musical community that we're a part of, we're a fucking family. When you go to family dinner, if you start talking about that shit, religion and politics, that's when somebody smells like somebody farted at the dinner table, and you don't get along with your cousin Craig anymore that you were best friends with when you were growing up.
Well, but sometimes that I happen to know people that is a family topic. They do that. That is part of their. That
hasn't been part of this family.
No.
That's not what the Grateful Dead family was about. We were not about that. Jerry never spoke from the stage. I heard him say, "That's not cool, man. Take a step back." That's about it. You're crushing them people up front. Like, that's all you need to say. So I'm coming clean with you guys. It's really fucking been bothering me. And I haven't been able to, it's bothered me so much that I haven't been able to talk about it. And I was at Fish this weekend, and in the middle of a jam, it came to me, and I leaned over to Mel, and I was like, "Next time we do a fucking intro, I'm cutting loose. I'm coming clean." She was like, "What are you talking about?" And I told her basically what I just told you guys, and yeah, I just it hurts, man, and I'm confused.
Well, it sucks to feel pent up, and you know, we're in a precarious situation. And again, this is why I fucking love Dolly Parton. Bringing it back to Dolly. She doesn't do that. She's asked direct questions about like being a feminist. She lives, maybe if you want to even say it, as a feminist, which is empowering women. She talks about like, you know, 9 to 5, that movie was about sexism and all, just amazing. She puts all this in her work, but she's not preaching anything. She's just a sweetheart. She wants people to be happy when they see her and go home and, you know, do what you got to do. She doesn't talk about political parties. She's not talking about the only thing she sells is her music.
Yeah. And
her Dollywood.
And, you know, I got to say, man, like.
But I'm sorry. I wanted to interrupt only 1 second, because what I mean about Dolly is if she can sway so many people with her platform, because so many people love her and idolize her and emulate her. So if she said something based on all these people that really care and love her, she could have so much influence over them. But she keeps it neutral.
Right or wrong.
She keeps it neutral. She said, "I'm an entertainer first." And right there, she's not a pastor. She's not a politician. She's, you know, not a motivational speaker. She is an entertainer. And everything else that happens, fine, whatever. But the amount of influence you have over people when you're leading them one way or another, and the Grateful Dead not being a space that you don't see that in, it is disappointing.
And I have to say to everybody out there, if what I said offends you or hurt you, not my intention, but guess what? I'm sorry. Too bad.
Sometimes people's feelings hurt other people's feelings.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. All I'm telling you guys is that I'm confused and hurt. And if that makes you angry, then I can't help you.
Well, listening to this too, like you said, this is the first time I've heard this. In the world that we're in now and what has been created of our world and everything, for one of the things you've counted on the most as your medicine and you go to being fucked with, it's fucking upsetting.
Yeah.
And this world, everything like that, though, those things should be helping us, not making it more confusing.
Well, and here's the thing, like, I think that a lot of people would say that is them trying to help. And I also understand that perspective, but I'm not looking for that kind of help there. And I never have. The Grateful Dead and psychedelic community and that space has always been about making up your own mind and not being influenced. But
you know, there's those like conspiracies that says the Grateful Dead work for the CIA.
I'm not even talking about that bullshit. I like whatever with that. Like, no, I'm just talking about what I said.
The political.
Yeah, all of it. And I'm sad, man. I fucking love that shit. I love O'Teal and Mayor and Billy and Mickey and Bobby. I fucking love those guys. And it's confusing and it hurts. And that's where I'm coming from. And we're honest on No Simple Road. And now all the dirt's out. So if you've been wondering why we haven't been talking about it, there's a fucking whole story.
Yeah. Well,
Aaron
like I said,
handle
that
it.
was Aaron's whole story. I mean, there's part,
Yeah.
I mean, no.
that's Aaron's whole story.
I have some of those feelings, but honestly, like I said a few weeks ago, they gave no love up here either to the Pacific Northwest or to much of Northern California or anything. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
I'm always down to go see a good show.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I'm not that emotionally invested in it like you are. Like, it wasn't my childhood and all that. I'm enjoying it, or I have been enjoying it. And to me, because of what they created and how big they've become, and that amount of influence they have to make people dance, to make people travel across the country, to make people like follow them, like that's a lot of influence. And so if you're, you know, maybe they think what they're doing is right, and that's why most people do stuff like that, say stuff, promote things because they like it or they're getting paid. You know, those are really the two things. You either believe in it or you know
making money,
you're making money.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's that it just fucking burned my chops.
Yeah,
well,
that's good.
I really
You
burned
got
my
it
ass,
out.
and I got it off my chest with the family.
Got it out.
Good.
And I just want you guys all out there to know that I love you. And you know, listen, regardless of what you think out there, it's fucking hard to do this.
Yes.
And to expose yourself knowing that there's going to be backlash and people that are hearing you. It's fucking scary, man.
That's what I was saying. We're in a precarious situation because we have real things that bother us that I won't necessarily go into.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Again, there's certain places that are the time and the place for shit. That's not what No Simple Road is.
Yeah, but no, even sometimes when it has to do with No Simple Road, like there's certain things you can or won't bring up.
I've been very conscious ever since we started this show to cultivate what I believed was carrying on the tradition of the Grateful Dead in cultivating a space that was safe for everybody, regardless of what they thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can show up at this table no matter who you are. I don't give a fuck. Let's hang out. You know what I mean? And that's where we find common ground.
We've always been like that in our life.
That's where we find common ground. That's where we find connection. That's what the word love means. And that's how we heal our fucking hurts, man. And that's really important to me. And it was built into me from my first psychedelic imprint at my first show. It was part of my DNA. I've said that all through this. So that's why it's confusing and hurt. It hurts. And if any of you out there feel like you can explain what's going on to me, I would love to fucking hear it, man. Like, if you can help me see the light, I would appreciate it because it's really fucking weird. So I don't mean to bring the show down. I just need to get that shit off my chest.
Now that you brought the show down and you got the stuff off your chest.
So anyway,
how was your week,
my
Apple?
week, I was going to say, you guys
had a cute week.
But yeah, you guys got your week there. Yeah, I had a cute week. Work was fine and everything. Friday night after work. Well, actually Wednesday. It started Wednesday night for me because Wednesday night it went. One of our awesome reps up here. There's a brand called Avitas. They do the flower, carts, dabs, everything. They treated me and some of our bud tenders that signed up to go to Top Golf, which is like,
that's so dope. I love
people
Top
don't know
Golf.
what. Yeah, I've always wanted to go. I finally got to go. It was fun. It's like it's like a shooting range, driving range. There's all kinds of targets. You can play different games and everything.
But it's golf.
Yeah, and that was super fun. And I haven't hit a golf ball since we moved up here from Vegas. And it was fun to just know that I was still good. And I was like, damn, Shank, the first one, scared people. And then got good. But then work went well. I missed Aaron and Mel. I knew they were fun, having fun at the shows and stuff. And
but you made plans for yourself. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then that Friday night I went. Long time coming. Our head gardener, Michael, who is the head grower at our farms, AP Farms up here, growing cannabis, went out there and had some drinks and hung out, stayed the night out there. He's got a house right on the property by our grow. Went and hung out in the garden, walked around for like an hour and a half, looking at all the different rooms and squeezing fresh nugs, just having a great time. I'm going to hang out with those cute little dogs. Just amazing time then. And then Saturday night, Saturday night was the show.
Yeah,
it wasn't Friday. Yeah, Saturday was when they were at the show. Me and Ryder took Simon, their son, out to dinner at a really cool Mexican restaurant up here we love to celebrate his new job that he started Monday.
He's working for the same company as me and Ryder now. We've absorbed him into the Borg collective.
Yeah, so it was fun. Had a fun weekend, relaxing weekend. Had fun with the boys here and out at the farm and at golf. So it was a fun week. And now here we are. We're listening to this on Tuesday. We're on our way to Eugene to go see Fish tonight and Wednesday night.
Hey,
so that
anybody out there, if you're going to be at the Fish shows tonight or tomorrow night and you want to hook up with No Simple Road, hit us up at nosimpleroad@gmail.com and we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had a good
Carolyn,
dinner
I'm sorry
tonight.
we didn't get to meet. I hope you listen to this and know that my intention was to meet with you at the show in San Fran, but you know how stuff is.
How is it?
You know, you mean to do stuff and then you're like, the show starts going and friends start coming and you move around.
It's a
and
show happening.
Your show happens, you're dancing, all that.
When we were walking out of Fish at Chase, I handed a sticker to one of our listeners and didn't know it was one of our listeners. And he was so high, he didn't realize that it was me. And we talk quite often on
great exchange
on
in person.
Instagram. It's pretty funny. The Great Northern Special. It's a band out of Laguna Beach, California. And
Laguna.
And yeah, he said, incredible weekend. Met y'all on the way out on night one. Thanks for the stickers. Wish I would have realized it was you quicker. I was a little out there and didn't realize I was walking away. Would have loved to chat and hang. I'm like, shit, I didn't realize it was you either, man. So next time
we talk so many times about that, about being there, like meeting people's our friend, like, oh
shit.
Wow, we met, but we should have really met.
Yeah. So Great Northern Special. Check them out on Instagram and check out their music, you guys. And hey, man, when we see each other next time, hopefully we're both not so spun that we don't realize it's us.
No promises, but hope. There's always hope.
There is always hope. Yeah. So I think we covered it.
Did we cover it?
I think we covered a lot there.
Yeah,
we did. We
went,
gave you a lot.
Yeah. What did Dolly say? Make them laugh, make them cry, and send them home.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Well, we're not done yet.
Oh, that's true.
We still got things to play, reviews to read, business to do.
So check this out. We talked at the very beginning of the show about Patreon. That's patreon.com/No Simple Road. That's where you can go to sign up and donate to the show and all that stuff, like $1 a month or whatever. And again, thank you to Christoph for signing up as a $20 a month
thank you
patron.
So much.
You are more than loved by this family, and thanks for your wonderful donation
his
art.
Just gets better and better and better.
I just got to say, Christoph, it's a dope name too. I've always let that name demand that like is commanding.
Hell yeah.
Christoph.
But my point in all that long-windedness was, if you want to do something for the show that doesn't cost any money and help support us, you can go
dance.
Well, you could do that too.
Oh,
we'll feel the energy of it. And it's this big cycle because we're all one consciousness experiencing it. Never mind. You can go on Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review. Like
somebody did.
What?
Yeah, we got another
2
one.
October reviews.
Yeah.
Thanks for the birthday love.
Can I steal this one from
you?
Birthday
Of course.
month girl.
Absolutely.
You got your.
I don't even have my phone ready.
Yes, I got to break out the Santa.
He looks just like Santa
readers.
Claus with his reading glasses.
I do not. Oh yeah.
Santa season.
So this is from Age P06. It's titled 3 Amigos, 5 stars. I've been a listener for years now. When I'm listening to you guys, it feels like I'm hanging with dear friends.
Mm-hmm.
Love this podcast, all the interviews, and how the universe is working for us all. Thanks for keeping it real and all the rad vibes you guys produce.
Aw.
Rad vibes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I just love the 3 Amigos because that's like, I love that movie, and like us, the 3 Amigos, you know, we're silly a lot of the time, but also serious.
Yeah, that's
we
us.
get serious.
We have a plethora of
cry,
sweaters.
We laugh.
So that's something you can do for the show that doesn't cost anything, just a little bit of thumb motion and time, and that helps us get found in the algorithm of stuff.
You know what? I just got to interject there too, because you guys all make fun of me for doing it. You don't even got to have, you could have not have thumbs, and you could hit the little record.
Oh,
and
that's
talk
true.
to your phone button, which I love to do. And
Fair enough.
everybody laughs at me about that. But yeah, you don't necessarily need thumbs.
Well, you could also write them a money order, Apple, or in your checkbook.
Oh, stop it.
Anyway,
Pocketbook.
where was I? Where was I?
We're on to the next Patreon.
Oh, yeah, Patreon. Then we'd leave the reviews, and you can go to www.nosimpleroad.com and buy yourself some merch.
How about 971
808
1524?
The tepid line?
Yeah.
971-808-1524.
That's
The
right.
tepid line.
Here, you know what? Let's do it. I'm gonna tepid line you all.
You're gonna
I
tepid line it?
actually haven't listened to these yet, so I don't know what we're gonna get.
We got some tepid line phone
tepid
calls.
Let's see.
Thank you so much.
Blah, 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 blah. John B.
Oh, he called back in so we can actually play it. This is
He
fantastic.
did. This one doesn't have a transcription available. I'm scared, but here we go.
Okay, back up again. 30 minutes prior, Amy listened to me say, let's go see Trey in New York City tonight. She said, okay. What? We planned our first real city-to-city jaunt, the second show, for 2 nights of Trey's Almost Fish on a whim. Not because it was a responsible thing to do. No, definitely not. But because the universe insisted for us to do it, because tickets were $25 and it was 3 hours away. Now back to Dan, our new friend we met in the parking lot, who Hunter's friend scared the night before, gave us 4 tabs of some clean alleged LSD, and we were off. As we hit New York City and Everything's Right came on from Fish Radio, I knew we had made the correct decision. Everything was right. We seamlessly drove through New York City, guided by our favorite New York City driver, myself. We got our old hotel 10 minutes from Radio City. The night was to be our redemption. Back up again. 2 years ago, prior at MSG, we both took LSD for the first time in a long time. It was a scary trip. This would be our return home, we hoped, in the city that was the heart of the beast. As I got our water safety third, I heard Taste the Fear for the Devil's Drawing Near, and I found my 464 Days Away soulmate, and we danced even more magical night. Trey was home. We could feel the energy. Radio City was amazing. The show rocked all the way through. The most special was the 4-song encore, 3 acoustic sets, and then the most amazing first tube with Trey in front of a crowd in New York City, where Amy and I saw the most amazing first tube, which brings back that all 3 weekends that we saw Trey, Hershey, The Gorge, and New York City, D.C., provided healing, and first tube was the glue between all these 3 weekends. And you can't beat a first tube. My mind was blown. We had tons of love. Our spirits were ready to go. We walked into Times Square and we found the DeLorean. We went forward into the future and we saw us with the No Simple Road family at a New Year's Eve show in New York City. And it was freaking amazing. This is a double trip report. 2 concerts. Hope that's all right. I love everyone out there. Have an awesome time on Fall Tour. Peace.
John B., you never fucking disappoint, brother.
No.
Not ever.
I love him more and more. And I said to Aaron the other night, I miss him. I miss them being around.
Yeah, he seems like somebody
I
should be
miss
around
Amy.
all the time.
I miss our connection and our ability to listen to music and have the same feelings.
I miss them too, man.
It was so great to have them here.
He made me want a first tube.
There you go.
Tonight or tomorrow night.
All right, we got one more.
That's epic.
I always want a first
Our
tube.
family, my name is Christopher. I've called before. Been a long time listener to the show. Just have a trip report from the Tab show at the Anthem in DC a few weeks ago. Pretty dope. Had Fishman on drums. Very exciting. Was hanging out in the crowd. Ended up like bumping into this one dude who was on some shrooms. And that was pretty great. He kept asking for fist bumps every once in a while and would put his hand on my back to let me know that he was still there every once in a while. So, like, it'd go, 2 or 3 jams, and then all of a sudden there'd be a hand on my shoulder, and then he'd go, just letting you know I'm still here. And I was like, all right, cool. But so I ended up becoming this dude's like rock, I guess, in the crowd, which is pretty exciting. He also had a homeboy with him that was very excited to do the show. Super stoked dude with a pigeon playing ping pong hat. So that was pretty rad. The band was pretty great, and it was a really awesome show. Couldn't have asked for a better set either. So that is a super brief report, y'all. Thanks for doing the show. Bye.
Aww. See, that's sweet.
Christopher,
right
you
there.
fucking rock, man.
Christopher, that was rad. Thank you for doing that. I love that.
And that's a rad moment at a show. I know. I hope everybody's experienced that when somebody you don't know that's a little out of it, you become their check-in person. They're the person they know that's concerned, and they check in with you. That's sweet.
Those connections that you make at the show when it's beginning of second set, and you're so excited to see what they're gonna pull out. And you lock eyes with your new best friend that was strangers 10 minutes ago. And it's just, everything's great. You're like the closest you could ever be to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the most amazing.
You could say that everything's right.
Everything is right.
Everything is right. Just hold tight. All right, everybody.
That's what I felt like I was channeling to Fish to tell Aaron.
Well, they worked. And
good.
Yeah.
He says he got it.
I got it. I get it. Good. Let's go see Fish.
Let's do it.
Everybody,
we're almost there.
I want you to remember something, that the three of us really do care about each and every one of you. And we love you guys and appreciate you. And we're super grateful that you even bother to listen to this show. And if you're new to No Simple Road, hey, welcome to the family. We love you too. And those of you that have been with us since the beginning, you guys are our road dogs and part of the No Simple Road family. And you mean the world to us. And I can't wait for next week, because we'll be back with more stuff and things and more hijinks and whatnot.
Accoutrements, accessories.
Trip reports in Vegas. And Jesus Christ, it's a busy time of year. It's like Christmas, but in October.
Thank you for everybody, Christmas. All you listeners, and thank you for we got a new review. We got trip reports. That means
new
so
Patreon.
Much to get people reaching out and letting us hear your voices.
We literally got reached out in every single way we could. Somebody joined Patreon. We got emails. We got tepid line reports.
But just because they did that doesn't mean that you shouldn't.
And we got a review.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this can be a trend.
This is we're going into winter. This is the snowball starting. Let this shit jump on the train, get on the snowball. Let's build this thing up.
All right, you guys, we'll be back next week with more stuff and things. Remember, safety third, hydrate, take care of each other, smile at a stranger, and you know what? Just take it easy this week, man. You don't need to be anxious like me. Just be in the moment and just like live for right now, because fucking 10 minutes may not even happen. 10 minutes from now may not even happen, and yesterday's a memory. So just saying, we love you guys. Peace.
Everything's right.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a new born. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. Mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A = A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
This is the story of Whitney Houston,
This is the story of Kurt Cobain,
of George Michael, of Otis Redding, of Amy Winehouse, of Michael Hutchence, Bob Marley. This is the story of Prince,
It's a new podcast series.
about how they died, why they died, and why we're still talking about them so long after.
It's like nothing you've ever heard before.
It's storytelling.
But it's more than that, because rock stars,
They tell us how we feel. They change our mood,
they change the clothes we wear, the people we hang out with.
the way we remember things.
It's them who give us those ludicrous moments, the ones where you...
Jumping around, singing your heart out, feeling understood.
And it's those moments we'll help you remember, the ones you're thinking about right now.
That feeling.
That feeling.
It's coming soon from Crowd Network.
Just search for Death of a Rock Star on your podcast app.
And subscribe now.